Hello, everyone. We're about to go live with Lucy Score, so welcome. Hello, everyone. Oh, so excited to see so many people. I just invited Lucy, so hopefully she'll be popping in just a second. Oh, so exciting. Hello. While we're waiting, does everybody want to put their favorite Lucy Score book in the comments? I just want to see what everybody's looking forward to talking about. Hello. I haven't read By a Thread yet. I'm looking forward to it. I have it on my bookshelf up here. Things We Left Behind. Yes, absolutely. So good. I totally agree. I love the Knock 'Em Out series. All right. Pretend You're Mine. Oh, I haven't read that one either, but I'm very excited to read that. I also have that on my bookshelf. Love Lucian. I really... Discuss a fourth Knock 'Em Out? I'm totally gonna ask that. You should. Oh. Let's see. Do we have a favorite couple from Knock 'Em Out for those of us who are Knock 'Em Out fans? Because I need to know. Because I have a personal favorite, but... Sorry, y'all. Just having some technical difficulties. Trying to get Lucy in here. Let's see. Hey, Lucy's in here. Hold on, let's get her up on the screen. Lucy, have you requested? There. Oh. I'm trying to accept your invite. Do you get it?
It's working.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to chat with you tonight.
Well, I'm always happy to talk to you.
Oh my goodness. So welcome everyone. Welcome Lucy. So excited to be here to talk about the Knock 'Em Out series and the things we left behind with Lucian and Sloane. And I kind of want to start with just talking about like your year, because I feel like a wild year for you. Because you had this, your deadline for this book was back in March. Is that correct?
I don't even remember. that sounds accurate. Yeah, like 6 months before launch.
you were just kind of traveling, doing like some book promotion. You were at Book Bonanza, which was wild. I think you had one of the longest lines there. How how was that? Like seeing so many of your fans all in one place.
That was crazy. I mean, like being an author is a super solitary thing. You know, I'm in my office right now. Like here's my desk. This is what I do all day, every day by myself. So it is super crazy to go to any signing, not just Book Bonanza, but any signing where like actual people show up because they've read the words that you wrote. And then you make it Book Bonanza, and I've never seen so many people in a room. I peeked into the room the night before the first signing, and I could not compute like how gigantic of a space it is. I was like, are we housing an entire country in here? What is happening? Like how are there this many people here?
I feel like your fan base just like even over the past few months has just grown so much. Like I just see more and more talks about you, like more and more people reading your books, which is absolutely amazing. So well served because your books are phenomenal. They're so fun to read.
Thank you. It does feel like it's been such a roller coaster. I feel kind of out of control. I feel like the momentum has just built to a point where I have no control over it, and I'm just like clinging by my fingernails and like enjoying the ride.
Because so this book came out, oh my goodness, what is it, just a month ago? Is that right? Like
a month and 5 days. It came out September 5th, I think.
Yeah, so you went on a book tour after that and got to meet some more people. So you've been traveling quite a bit. Do you have a favorite place you kind of stopped by that you really enjoyed?
I did. So we didn't get to see much of anything at all. I think my favorite non-reader part of the tour was the grilled cheese that I had in Vancouver.
Love it.
After the signing, we were in Vancouver for such a short period of time, the airline called it a layover. So like it was literally less than 24 hours in the city. But when our handler, Jamie, dropped us off at the hotel, he turned around, he's like, you worked very hard. I want you to go get room service and I want you to eat something delicious. Mm-hmm. So I followed his instructions and I went upstairs and I ordered a grilled cheese, and it was the best grilled cheese I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, those classic comfort foods.
It's so true.
Oh, amazing. And then I think following that, you hit the #1 bestseller list for a few weeks in a row.
Yeah, we were #1 on the New York Times print paperback list for 3 weeks. 3 weeks? 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. I was like, holy cow. And then we're still on it. We just slipped down to #3.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible.
I'm blown away.
Like, gotta give you some major applause for this one because this was amazing. Yes, take them out. So for anybody who doesn't know you or the Knock 'Em Out series, can you kind of give us a little like 30-second elevator pitch on what Knock 'Em Out is and why they should read it?
I am the absolute worst at this. I could tell you all the reasons why you won't like it. It's a 3-book series. It's a small town set in Northern Virginia. The men are grumpy alphas who secretly don't believe that they deserve the women. The women are all incredibly forgiving.
Very sweet.
There's a lot of enemies to lovers, which is my favorite trope to write. A lot of forced proximity, a lot of grumpy sunshine. And there's an overarching story of romantic suspense. And my monitor just went out, so there goes my face. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about them because it's like they'll make you laugh, they might make you cry. It's the Everything Bagel series if you're into contemporary romance.
Follows a group of friends in the town. some brothers, some non-blood related brothers, but brothers nonetheless. Just a really fun group of characters. So what now for me, you know, especially with this third book, this was Lucien and Sloane, and you got little teasers in books 1 and 2 about they have some big backstory and nobody knows what it is or what happened, but they absolutely despise each other, like can't stand to be in the same room. But this is their kind of love story and how they get together. So how was it making two people that could not stand to be in the same room, like be in the same room together? Because when I started, I was like, this is not going to work. Like,
I know, right? That's what I was setting out to do. Like, I wanted to write a couple that there was no possible way that they could forgive, forget, and get together. And then magic happens, and I did it anyway. Yeah, I took enemies to lovers to the extreme. They were still enemies in this book when they became lovers. Like, I'm not going to give you spoilers or anything, but the first time that these two hook up, they are still insulting each other left, right, and center, like during their hookup, which was absolutely delightful, and I can't wait to write something like that again.
Oh my God. They personalities, like, just I have a few favorite scenes in this book. I won't like say exactly what they are, but
I feel like you should tell me at least one or two.
I will. I'll get there.
Okay. Okay, good.
But I also want to know, like, did you have a favorite moment or anything in this book that you wrote?
I had a lot of different favorites, like the dinner scene with the with the electric shock. I was like, this is absolute, writing this scene, I'm like, this is absolutely ludicrous, and I am embracing it. I'm leaning in. This is what we're doing. I'm committing fully to these two being electrocuted at dinner every time they insult each other. I loved writing that. I actually really liked writing the flashbacks to teenage Lucien and Sloane. I don't write young adult or new adult. I'm very uncomfortable in that area, but I did have a really good time visiting them when they were teenagers. And I think the scene leading up to the first time that they get together was one of my all-time favorites, just because the chemistry had built to an absolute pinnacle, and it was like now or never, you know? So that was a lot of fun. And then keeping this part as spoiler free as possible, but when oh my God, in the clinic towards the end, Lucien's grand gesture, and then Knox and Nash hiding in the bushes helping Lucien during his grand gesture.
That was it for me. That one had on the floor. I rolling over. It was so funny.
Dying. Yes, it was magical. It was magical.
A bullhorn, some whiskey, some grape.
So he could blend in with the
I couldn't, but I was like, of course they're doing this right now.
and it was something they would have done that, you know, if these were real people, they absolutely would have done that. And that's what, like, I don't know, guys, like, I never write the end because I don't want anything to ever be over. But they're real people to me. I still think about them today. I'm like, oh, I wonder how Lucien's day went. I wonder what Meow Meow is up to. You know, I think about all of my characters that way because I feel like they've become my friends, and maybe that makes me a very crazy person, but I'm comfortable with it.
No, I feel the same. Like when I was reading that scene, I was like, yes, this is exactly what would happen. Yes, they're crazy, but that is who they are, and it just it's so well.
The other scene that I loved, when it's finally time for Lucien to be in his own fist fight, and Knox and Nash are like warming up and hydrating. They're stretching.
Like,
because they're 40 years old. You know, it's different when you get into a bar fight in your 20s. It's different from your 40s. Somebody's going to pull something.
yes. Quite the cast. And speaking of that, do you have someone that you just kind of cherish a little bit more than everybody else?
Character-wise? Mm-hmm. I mean, Lucien really wormed his way in there. I was just enjoying him as, I'm sure I can't swear on Bam's Instagram Live. He was an a-hole, you guys. And I was very happy with that. But learning where his trauma came from and how hard he worked to overcome that, like, that makes me want to cry. I absolutely adore him and everything that he was doing to become a better man. Mm-hmm. Waylay, I loved her. And, you know, I didn't get to delve into her as much as I wanted, just because of space constraints and word counts. But I just, her character arc from the beginning of book 1 through book 3 was so delicate, but you can just see her turning into a person who is willing to accept love and willing to trust the adults in her life. And like, I loved her.
Beautiful. She's one of my secret faves, especially when the little sass comes out.
I just totally wanted to write a scene with her and Sloane's niece Chloe, because I loved Chloe and I literally could not shoehorn another scene into this book. But I wanted to write one where Lucien and Sloane end up babysitting Waylay and Chloe. I just thought that would be so much fun, because I really wanted to paint a picture of like, this is how these two would handle kids if they had them. Mm-hmm. And I kept that in my outline until the very end. And I was like, I can't squeeze it in.
Bonus scene. I imagine Waylay and Chloe just being little, not terrors, but, you know, a handful.
Yes. For sure. They would have painted Lucien's nails and made it seem like it was his idea.
And he would have gone along with it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's too good. And you mentioned a little bit ago kind of going back and forth between the two timelines, because we do kind of figure out, we get to see how that played out throughout the book, their shared history and past and whatever that trauma was. So how was that writing kind of two times or two places in time at the same time? Did you kind of do one all the way through and then come back to the other? Did you alternate kind of like it was in the book? Or?
I was writing chronologically in the book, so I was going back and forth between the times. And you know, my big fear of writing flashbacks is like, nobody has a cell phone. Don't write a cell phone. Don't give anybody don't mention any musical artists that haven't come out yet. So there's a lot of like mundane author stress that comes with exploring a different timeline. But thanks for editors and proofreaders and everybody. I think I did okay. I thought it was very important. I know there's folks who don't like flashbacks. They like the story to be told consecutively, but I just feel like there's some things that you can't tell a reader on the page. You have to show them. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like I tried to be really selective with the scenes that I flashed back to. So they made sense with the story, but it was tough. I did not make this book easy on me.
Well, it was well worth it in the end, because the way just you showed the right amount of information for what you needed for the next like chapters. And sometimes it left me on a cliffhanger and I was sitting there like, come on, I need to know more. And then I just had to find out.
I wanted you turning those pages.
And it worked. I think I finished this book in like 2 days or something.
Wow. Crazy. That was a big book. Did you get it early? Did Bam get you a copy early? if you ever need one, you know how to get in touch. So
that's true. Yes. Thank you very much to Bloom and Sourcebooks for getting me that, because it was very enjoyed and cherished, and it's sitting right up here on my bookshelf.
See you do have the art. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Lucian and Sloan. So I know you said you don't like to say the end. Is this the end of Knock 'Em Out, or is there like potential?
I do not have plans for more. I feel really proud of myself. I feel like I left it all on the page or the field or whatever analogy we want to go with. I feel like because I still want more, and I think that means that readers still want more, but I think I got us all to a good place, and so I don't have any plans to write more. I actually have to figure out what I'm writing next, so I'll take suggestions.
What next? Do you have like a few things brewing, or are you kind of taking a little break? Or?
Well, you know, I'm realizing, so this, like you were saying earlier, this year has been really crazy. It's been so busy. There's been so much goodness happening. There's been some like awful sad things that happened too. And it just seems like life went into overdrive for me this year. And I'm just now realizing how much I need downtime to just sit and think about a story. Mm-hmm. So downtime, apparently, as I'm learning, does not involve binge watching Suits on TV. It does not involve scrolling on my phone for all of the Taylor and Travis updates ever. Yeah. It actually means I need to sit in a room and be quiet and do nothing. Like, do nothing. And I've hardly done, how am I going to say? I've hardly done nothing. I haven't done nothing. You guys know what I'm saying. Like, there's been too much something. So I have an idea. So I wrote Riley Thorne 4, and that is entering the editorial process now. And I'm very excited. I freaking love this book. I love this series. It is so funny. And it was like the perfect break for me between the heaviness of Knock 'Em Out and whatever comes next. So I got to write about my reluctant psychic and her hot PI boyfriend and their crazy elderly roommates. And it was absolutely delightful. And for Riley Thorne fans out there, this book, the victim of the crime that they are investigating is Griffin, her ex-husband. Griffin Gentry is being threatened. Oh. So there is a lot of Griffin on the page in this book, and he is truly awful, and I had the best time writing it. It is an absolute delight. So now I have to figure out what comes next, and I have like a couple of ideas, but I have not had the space to explore any of them and see what actually works, you know? I mean, you'd think I'd be better at this by now.
Like, how do you do that? How do you process the story? Do you just kind of word vomit onto a page, write an outline, or just sit there and think? Like, do you have a method to the madness?
Well, you're lucky. My notebook's in the other room. It usually starts with one single thing. It could be a scene. It could be a what if. It could be a character in a weird situation. And so I had I had 2 ideas. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll make it a duet. And then this idea that I had for a really long time that I actually thought would be a great screenplay came back into my head. And I was like, oh man, well, I don't know how to write a screenplay. So I can't do anything with this. And I kind of sat with it all morning, and I was like, wait, what if it's not a screenplay? What if it's a book? So I did spend a day fleshing out this idea. And I did not get very far with it, but I got very excited because I think the magic for me is when here's this idea and here's a couple of scenes that all of a sudden just appear, and they play in my head like it's a movie, you know? So I'm watching these scenes unfold as if somebody already wrote them, they already exist, and now they're on a screen somewhere.
Yeah.
So that was happening, but then I got really busy again.
Oh.
So and my plotting, planning, my outlining process is really kind of nebulous. I will do it until I feel like I have a whole story, and then I'll start writing and realize, oh wow, I really didn't have a whole story. Now I have to figure out what's actually going to happen. So I'm still in the part of the process where I know I don't have a full story. So yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so thankful that there are people like you in this world that can, you know, kind of envision that and then translate it to words so that we as readers can envision that in our heads.
Well, thank you. That's super nice. Don't make me cry, man.
True, because like I'll imagine stuff in my head, but I can't verbalize it. I can't put it into words. Like it's just magical.
Well, it's really tricky too, because you can't give too many words, because then you are accidentally pulling the reader out of the story. You know, you can't specifically describe every single thing, even if you want to. You can't be like, the duffel bag was 18 inches by 8 inches and filled with blah blah. You can't do that kind of stuff. So it's always this really delicate balancing act of giving just enough information that readers can paint the picture themselves without giving too much or not enough. Because if they're stopping and being like, wait, what? You just took them out of the story. Or if you're drowning them in the dimensions of a duffel bag, you just took them out of the story. Mm-hmm. So you got to find the sweet spot, and that's tough.
That's magical, because I don't know how you do it, how you figure out how much is too much and how much is not enough.
I'm not sure either. Dirty martinis help. Dirty martinis help. Mr. Lucy made this.
Oh, tell him I said hi.
I will. He ran away. I'm not sure. He might be playing pinball downstairs.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. So I'm trying to, so you posted something on Instagram. I'm not an Instagram stalker, I swear, but where someone was reading your book on the beach, and that was your first time seeing a reader in real life. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I had a plan. My plan was to always not announce myself. I was just going to be like, oh, hey, do you like that book you're reading? Like, you know, super I'm a stranger. I'm a random stranger. I'm just interested in the book you're reading. So I saw her. We were stumbling around on the beach. We were looking for Mr. Lucy's brother. It was super hot, like disgustingly hot, like sweat running off of me, because we weren't getting in the water. We were just stomping around in the sand. And we're looking for his brother. And all of a sudden I see this woman under an umbrella, and I see things we never got over. And I'm like, it's happening. And then I like froze. I was like, I just want to run away. What if she doesn't like it? And then I was like, no, I am standing here, a sweating mess. I'm going to find out. So I like tiptoed over under the umbrella, and I was like, hey. And she, of course, was completely startled by this stranger sidling up to her. I was like, do you like that book? Meanwhile, I'm like getting ready to back away. And she's like, oh, I love it. And she held it up. She was almost done with it. I was like, oh, thank God. She's like, why did you read it? And I was like, I wrote it. And she goes, ah! She screams and then jumps to her feet. And then the two of us are like, just like screaming together.
Yeah.
And everybody else on the beach is like super sweaty and melty. And they're just looking at us like, they're trying to scrape the sunscreen out of their eyes. What is going on? So Mr. Lucy comes up, because he had no idea why I was accosting this person. And I'm like, look at her book. I wrote that book. So we are chit-chatting, and another woman behind us, she was sitting with another group of people. She tiptoes over. She's like, excuse me, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I read that book and I loved it.
Oh my goodness.
So we took some pictures and I signed the book, and I think it was actually the woman's friend's book, her friend's copy. And so like now this friend is going to get this book back with like my sweat like compressed into the pages. But I was so happy it was a good experience. I was so worried that the first time I ever saw somebody reading it in public, they were going to be like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the hype. Or, you know, like, oh, I picked this out of a garbage can. It's going right back in. So I was so happy that it was like the best possible experience. And it was so much fun. I can't believe, I just can't believe it happened.
Glad that it was a positive experience, and I'm happy that you finally had that experience.
Me too.
Has anybody like recognized you out in public yet?
Yes. This is the crazy thing. Okay, so I mean, you follow me on social media. You know that I don't usually look very well put together or anything like that. And it's usually worse when I'm at home and not taking pictures of myself. But so there were 3 instances over the course of 2 weeks, and none of them were book related. I wasn't in a bookstore. I wasn't at a signing. I was not holding my own books. The first happened, Mr. Lucy and I were at this dive pizza shop that we hadn't been to in like 5 years. And I had been in the pool all morning, and I was covered in sunscreen and sweat, and my hair was very bad. So I was wearing a hat. And we were getting up to leave, and I always put vinegar on my French fries, and this restaurant has 1 vinegar sprayer. So I'm walking back to, do you like how I walk? I'm walking back to the counter with my trusty bottle of vinegar. And somebody says, "Excuse me." And I turn around and I'm holding the vinegar and I'm extending it because I think they want the vinegar. Oh. And the woman's like, "You're Lucy Score, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I was so embarrassed. I was just like, I'm wielding it like it's a weapon. Like, "You got French fries." So that was the first time. And then the second time I was in Target, I had just returned something and I was on my way out. I was headed out of town, and I'm pushing my like now empty cart towards the inside cart corral, and an employee comes up and she's like, "Oh my God, you're Lucy Score." And I try to keep a super low profile in Target because they won't let me sign my books in Target without like calling some other second party and setting up a date and then making it a whole thing. Like, so I'm sorry, Target. I just sneak in a ninja sign. Like I'm not gonna call a number and make an appointment. And so I just like sneak it. So I try to keep a really low profile in Target. So now I'm like, I don't think I can sign books in my home Target anymore. But the woman was so cute. She said she had never been a reader, but her daughter kept saying, "You need to read these books. You need to read Lucy Score." So she finally picked one up, and she's like, "I've read everything that you've written, and my daughter and I have a countdown," because this was right before Things We Left Behind came out. And she was so excited, and then I was so excited. It was ridiculous. It was super cute.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
the third time I was actually, I guess there were 4 times. Third time that I got recognized, I was in a restaurant with Claire Kingsley and Avery Maxwell, and a reader was coming out of the restaurant as we were going in, and she freezes. She's like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Claire Kingsley, Lucy Score, and Avery Maxwell." And this was not for like a book event or anything, but I was like, good for her recognizing them. Man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And then the last time was on the plane home from, I was sitting there, and a lady leaned down, so I took my headphones off, and she's like, "You're Lucy Score, aren't you?" And I was like, "I am." And then I turned to Tim. I was like, "I have to dress nicer on planes now."
Oh my goodness.
And this is so great. It makes my day. Like, if you ever see me, it doesn't matter how terrible I look, please come up and say hi. It just makes my day.
You never know. You might be in disguise too, because
I try. You've seen me at Harrisburg BAM in my Justin Bieber era.
That photo is probably one of the funniest ones I've seen.
I don't know why I thought that I was calling less attention to myself that way.
For those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure it's on Lucy's Instagram page. There's a photo in like a dark hoodie, sunglasses, her hair's like tucked in, and she's just sitting on the floor.
Yeah, and my hair's like swooped over somehow, like weird bangs or something from the hoodie. And when I looked at it, I was like, I could be Justin Bieber's brother.
Bieber era.
I did not fool anybody. Like one of the people at one of the booksellers at the register like picked up and called the district manager, like, Lucy's in here signing books again.
Love it. Oh, they love to see you in there. Oh my god. So crazy. Shout out to Harrisburg BAM also. I feel like I've been there.
Love them.
So I guess you mentioned Suits in your downtime that's not down. Do you read it all when you're taking Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you read?
I read all the time, and I try to read at least 15 minutes before bedtime every night too, just to like shift gear. If I just try to go to bed, my brain just tries to rewrite history and change everything that happened during the day. So I have to feed it someone else's stories. But yeah, I'm a big reader.
Yeah. Is there a book that you're looking forward to coming out, or one that you're waiting to read? Or
I don't know when books come out. I'm one of those people who is just always surprised. Sometimes even it's my own book, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was coming out. I just pick things up when I see it. I love to go into a bookstore and just see what catches my eye. Right now I'm reading The Whistler by John Grisham.
Okay.
And How to Build a Non-Anxious Life. Something along those lines by Dr. John Deloney. I follow him on TikTok. He's pretty cool. And I'm rereading Devotions, which is a book of poetry by Mary Oliver. Love her. Yeah, I just finished the last book in the ACOTAR series. So I was like, okay, no more fantasy, no more romance for a little bit. Let me change gears.
No way. Sorry, I'm also a huge ACOTAR fan.
Are you?
Yes.
Book 3 is one of my all-time favorite books in the world.
Oh,
I just think it's so good. It's just so good. The world building, like, I want Sarah J. Maas, if you're listening, I would love to talk to you about process and world building. I am weird, but I will feed you tacos if you're into that.
She will. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have no idea how she keeps everything straight and how
I know.
Because it's phenomenal, the world building there. I
can't remember if a hero has blue eyes or green eyes from page 1 to page 50. And she's like, she built an entire universe that's like older than time.
Yep. And there's so many layers and languages and characters, and I could sit here for hours just talking about that series. So
I'm seeing a lot of people say they haven't started it yet. Listen, I'm not going to give you any spoilers whatsoever, but if you read book 1, you absolutely have to read book 2, and you will know exactly why. Once you read book 2, you'll say, thank you. Oh my goodness. You have to, book 1's great, but you have to read book 2 because you will die.
You do.
It's amazing.
And unfortunately, I know people in my life who stopped after book 1.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I'm like,
very important. Read book 2. Also 3, because 3 is one of my all-time favorite books, but
yes. Oh my goodness. So I think we should probably, I'm gonna kind of scroll through the comments a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little bit personal. So if anybody has any questions for Lucy, start dropping them in. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit to see, because I saw some coming through while we were talking.
I'll just say hi to people as you go. Hi, everybody. Hi, Emma. Could you please ask her what her thought process behind the book colors are? What book?
The book colors.
The covers for Knock 'Em Out?
Mm-hmm.
that is the colors that the stock art that I chose came from.
Well, because I remember you talking about, I forget if it was at Summer Sizzle, but you were talking about for book 1 with the daisies, and the daisies in her hair, and that was just kind of a crossover.
Oh yeah. And it was, I mean, that was a piece of stock art that I saw, and I was like, oh, I think this is it. And I sent it to Carrie March of Carrie March Designs. Mm-hmm. And she returned it with the title on it and everything. I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So then I turned her loose while I was writing book 2, or maybe I was still finishing book 3, but I was like, okay, there's going to be 3 books now, thanks to Nash and Lucian. So I need flowers on each cover, and they have to be different, and I want the colors to be complementary to things we never got over. So that's why we have the like Tiffany blue, and then the baby pink, and then the soft lavender, because that is what the stock art that Carrie found came from.
Oh, it was, I mean, they're beautiful.
She did, Carrie March, mwah, chef's kiss. She's amazing. She did such a wonderful job.
Pretty. My little Lucy score shelf up here.
Is it reinforced? Those are heavy books.
I mean, it's mounted to the wall.
So oh, good. Brenda, I saw you mentioning Mr. Fixer-Upper. Did you know that the new cover just came out in paperback, and it is beautiful? And it also released simultaneously with the Christmas Fix. So they're both out in bookstores, including Books A Million, with the fabulous new covers, and I love them so much. I actually don't have copies of them yet. Hey, Bloom, if you're on here, I would really love some copies of Mr. Fixer-Upper and the Christmas Fix. I'd like to take pictures with them. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go into a store.
Yeah. And then you might get recognized. You never know.
I know. Not if I go as Justin Bieber.
But now people are going to know to look out for that.
I know. They're going to be like, that woman looks like Justin Bieber.
They're like, maybe we should investigate. I see a lot of people requesting a Waylay book. No, I mean, I wouldn't be upset about that. Oh my goodness. What's this? Do you have any celebrities that you kind of pictured as the characters?
Well, for me, I think Charlie Hunnam for Knox was awesome. I watched Charlie Hunnam in King Arthur. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. I guess it didn't do very well. It was fantastic. It was an amazing movie. Mm-hmm. And Charlie Hunnam in it was absolutely awesome. And I was super disappointed to find out that they decided not to do any more movies in that series. But watch that movie, look at Charlie, think of Knox. That's my advice for you. Maybe if enough people go back and watch the movie, then they'll be like, hey, let's make another one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I see so many comments about Lucian and his nickname, Suit Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. I just love that. It caught on so fast.
I know that was fun.
Yeah. People just want to see more of Knock 'Em Out and Naomi, and they want to see Lucian and Sloane with kids.
Well, listen, guys. Like, I don't know if anybody knows any producers or studios or whatever. I think I would love to see Knock 'Em Out on screen. I think that would be super cool.
I agree. Yeah, people asking if there will be a connected series, maybe the kids, maybe people in Elkin.
No. Like right now, I'm like, I am so out of Knock 'Em Out at this point. Like I need something fresh, something brand new. So I don't, yeah. Never say never, but.
That's fair.
Right.
I see some people asking about autograph copies.
If you live in the US, you can order autograph copies from Cupboard Maker Books. I believe they are on Instagram at Cupboard Maker Books. Oh. Or you could find them at Cupboard Maker Cats, because they have cats in their bookstore, because there's cats that they rescue, and they work with a rescue and they adopt them out. Oh. So they're super cool. So if you live in the US, that's who handles all of my signed paperbacks. I go in every 2 weeks or so and sign, and they fulfill all the orders, and they're amazing. But I'm leaving for Europe for 3 weeks. So I would say get your orders in now, because after this weekend, I won't be around to sign for like a month.
Oh my goodness, where are you going in Europe?
I am going to Germany. I'll give you the countries.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to Germany, the Netherlands, France, Brussels, the UK, and Portugal.
Wow.
I know. I was going over the schedule today, and I was like, hey, there's 2 days here where I basically don't sleep or eat. Can somebody pencil in some bathroom breaks, please? It is going to be a whirlwind tour. Yeah. And when we get back, I'm not leaving my house for probably months. But I'm super excited. Like, I'm very excited.
That sounds like it's going to be an amazing trip. Like, hopefully you get to do some sightseeing while you're over there, and maybe, I hope, because it's beautiful.
It's like there's the Eiffel Tower from the car. Yeah. Actually, in Portugal, our publisher is super sweet. They are arranging for a guided tour for us the one morning before a signing, just so we can see, because they know how it is for like writers. You show up and you sign, and then you leave for the next city. And they were like, we can arrange for this with an English translator. And I was like, thank you so much. So that's our last stop on the tour, and I'm so excited that we're actually going to get to see some of Portugal.
Oh. Amazing. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. We're super excited. I'm not excited about packing, because apparently, like, I'm not in any place long enough to have laundry done at all. Oh. So there was this whole conversation about what to do about underwear. Because I'm sorry, I don't own enough underwear to cover 3 straight weeks of travel. I mean, I'm sure some of you do, but not this girl.
Well, that is definitely that is a challenge. I see someone asking, have you read the Housemaid series?
Is that Frida McFadden?
I think so. I think that's
I have not, but I do have her new one, The Coworker. So I haven't started that yet.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting.
Because that's from Bloom Books too.
Yeah.
So we'll be publisher buddies.
Love that. The Bloom family is so nice.
They are. They're delightful.
Do you reread your own books before you start the next one?
I would rather claw my eyes out. I'm so dramatic, you guys. I'm so dramatic. No, I hit a point with every book where I'm done with it, and if I have to see it again, if I have to touch it for like one more round of edits, I will throw myself out of a window, because I'm like, I'm done. I cannot. So sometimes what I do sometimes is, okay, so it was time for me to write Riley Thorn 4. So I listened to the Riley Thorn 3 audiobook, and it had been enough time between me actually writing the book and me listening to it that I got to enjoy it like I was like a normal person. So that was fine, but I can't sit back down and reread my own stuff because it's torture.
I feel like that's the case with a lot of people, is like once they're done with the project, they're like, because you have to end it at some point and you can't keep going back.
Yeah. And I think this is where, like, I think it would be really hard for perfectionists to do this, because at some point, in order to publish the book, you have to stop writing and editing it. Yeah. And I can see how you could just tinker forever with a draft. But thankfully, I am blessed with the opposite personality of, I'm so sick of this book, it needs to go away.
Yeah. Gotcha. They're asking, will the Riley Thorn series be getting new covers like the other books?
They are. It's not a complete redesign like the others. It's still a nod to the original design, which because I was very, very in love with the original design, because that city skyline on the cover is actually Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So it's, you know, it's very near and dear to my heart. So I was excited that they could keep that. So they're updating the covers a little bit, but they'll still be similar to what they were.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so far every cover except the Knock 'Em Out series has gotten redone.
Oh my goodness. I bet that was quite a process.
Yeah.
Oh. I see some people are asking about merch, Knock 'Em Out merch. Is that in the works?
Oh my gosh. It is like such a big conversation, you guys. Like, I actually had to talk to my lawyer about talking to a trademark lawyer. Like,
Oh goodness.
this is not who I am. Who I am is like, hey, a sweatshirt that says Knox Morgan Municipal Building would be hilarious. Somebody make that happen in the next 10 minutes. But this whole like planning a merch store and all of that, it has been a never ending conversation. There will be something.
It's coming.
Sorry, I think
possible.
my cat is crying outside. Cleo, use your face. Push the door open. Maybe she'll. Oh, she did. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see her. Oh, nope, she gave up.
Oh.
It's the door that she uses her face to push open. But yes, so eventually there will be a merch store, and with as much time and effort as my entire team has put into it to this point, it will be amazing. But we are going to have something available, like a limited edition something before Christmas. So keep your eyes out for that.
That's exciting. I love that. I will definitely be one of the first people to just go purchase.
One click. Come here, kiddo.
What was your favorite Knock 'Em Out book to write? And which love story was your favorite? I think I know the answer, but
my favorite to write. Ooh, I don't know. They were all hard. Huh.
We can skip if we need to.
I mean, I guess, but see, like, I can't say Things We Never Got Over was my favorite to write because I was going through this horrific grieving process while writing it. And like, it was very emotionally scarring and healing for me. So I'm like, here comes the cat. It's definitely not my favorite. I mean, it was not easy. But none of them were. Gosh, all three books were really tough. Like, they all took a different piece of me. They all required a different piece of me. And that was what was really interesting. You know how some people like run marathons and they train for them and they do these amazing athletic feats? I think I just write big, complicated books, but not so complicated, like, you know, ACOTAR. Yeah, I don't know. They were all tough, man. Come here. Stop crying down there. Come say hi to Instagram.
Say
hello.
The fantasy series we were talking about was ACOTAR for the person that asked that. And then, oh, Kitty!
Cleo, say hi. Say hi. No, don't show them your butt. You don't have to show them your butt.
Oh. Is book 4 the last for Riley Thorne, or what?
Oh man, I hope not. So well, first of all, it can't be, because I cannot end the series without letting you guys know what Riley Thorne's middle name is. And I know how I'm going to do that. I know how in the story I'm going to do that. So this one can't be the last one. But this one will determine whether I can make my dreams come true and have this be an ongoing series and have, you know, actually start writing, you know, even half of the ideas in my Riley Thorne idea journal. I mean, how hilarious would it be if Jasmine wakes up to a dead guy in her bed? These are the kinds of things that I lay awake at night thinking about. Or Mrs. Penny is definitely going to be accused of a crime at some point. So anyway, me personally, I would love to keep going with this series. I feel like there's so much out there, so much fun to be had yet, but the first 3 books are coming out for the first time in paperback in bookstores starting in March, April, May is when they roll out. And then June is when the 4th Riley Thorne book comes out. So if it doesn't do well, like if there isn't like this major resurgence of popularity, then we will be talking about Riley Thorne 5 being possibly the last in the series. Now, I personally would love to keep going, but we will have to see.
So everybody watching, go buy those books when they come out.
Please, just so I can, you know, write for fun.
So Lucy can write more things. Oh my goodness. I love that. I mean, I'm sure people will love them, especially once they're, you know, out in bookstores and in paperback. I know I'm personally a paperback girly. I love, or like,
oh my gosh, you cannot go wrong. I am so excited that TikTok brought print back to such heights, you know, like, because I mean, I enjoy the convenience of reading on my phone or a tablet, which is great. But if I'm traveling, I'm not going to pack 5 books. But if I love this book, I'm buying a physical version and I am reading it forever.
Yeah. Is there a question about that? I can't remember. But I like this one. For beginner writers, do you have any advice? Oh, I just jumped. For great ways to put idea to paper in a way that can flow, oh my goodness, from beginning to end.
Well, I think everybody's super different. So the best thing you can do right off the bat is kind of explore how your writing process works. I'll tell you a little bit about mine because it's all over the place. I take a notebook. I get one of those big fat 5 subject notebooks from Staples. Staples is my happy place. And I will just start to write down every idea I have about the book, no matter how stupid, no matter how ridiculous and over the top. And then I keep writing until some kind of story starts to take a little bit of a vague shape in my head, and then I will start writing that out. So it's kind of like an outline. And then I will write character sketches for the 2 main characters, and then I will also do sketches for a bunch of the secondary characters because I want them to be as real as the primary characters. So all of that is in my notebook, and I don't do it in my office because I want it to feel like I'm having fun. So I have a giant beanbag. A lot of times I sit there. I usually fall asleep after 20 minutes. Or I'll go outside, or maybe I won't even do it on the couch. I won't do it in my spot on the couch. I will do it on a different piece of furniture just for the novelty, I think, for my brain. But eventually I get really, really excited about that plot. And then the organization comes in. I use Scrivener. And so that's a word processing tool where you can break things down by scenes and chapters. I used to write in Microsoft Word, and my books are so freaking long, you guys. So I would scroll. Because I don't number my chapters as I go. I can't keep track of that. So Scrivener is really nice because you can be like chapter whatever. You just call it chapter. And then you can move them around. You can look at the whole thing as there's like a bulletin board view or something like that. So each scene or chapter that you put up there appears as a note card, which is really helpful. If you like to touch things, I would recommend doing sticky notes on a wall. I've done that a couple of times, especially with Riley Thorne when there's like romantic suspense beats that need to be paid off. But yeah, so my process is all over the place. There's some authors who are able to type everything. There's some people who do not plot at all. They just sit down and they're like, I'm going to write a story about a girl named Jill. And then that's what they do. And it's such a personal experience. So I think experimenting in the beginning to find out what actually works best for you is really important. So keep asking authors what they do and then report back to me because I'm always really nosy.
You like to see what works. I'll ask a few more questions. I know we've been on here for a while, so I'll find a couple more and see. Then we can maybe wrap this up. Have you ever? I kind of curious. Hi, kitty.
Meow, meow, meow. She hates the camera.
Oh,
so charming.
She's Have you ever worn your Team Suit Daddy shirt from the signing?
Not yet. I still have, I just got the packages from each of the signings. So I need to go back through everything and like archive it all. So I have it all sitting on a table in the basement, and I have my little bins and everything. So that's when I go through and I get all the clothing and the socks and the candies out. And
I love
but yeah, I'm very excited to wear my Suit Daddy shirt.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank you for that, by the way. That was amazing.
I feel like the stuff you get from signings is always so cool too. It's just like, unique.
Readers are the freaking best. The absolute best. I don't have it in here. Or do I? I have a copy of Things We Left Behind that readers at my Baltimore signing signed for me. So every single reader in line signed a copy of my book for me. And then they sent it to me, and I cried like a big dumb baby.
That's amazing.
It was very thoughtful.
Was it a surprise?
It was.
Did you see the?
They're like here, and I took it and I opened it like I was gonna sign it, and it's like all the way. I put a video up on TikTok of it. It's my most recent TikTok because I don't have it in here yet because I need to find the right place for it. But yeah, it was very, very thoughtful and made me blubber like a baby.
I can imagine. That's such a sweet gift, and it's so sentimental and special to that place. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Readers are the best.
Yeah. Which female character do you relate to the most?
Which is the hot messiest? So Riley Thorne had my job that I got out of college. She was proofreading stuff like pellet stove schematics and bathroom door dimensions.
Yeah.
So that was an actual job that I had. Gia from Blue Moon was a pretty good disaster, and I really identified with her. Like in one of the scenes, she opens the cabinet door on her face, and I wrote that because I had just done that to myself. I opened so many things on my own face. I have no concept of where my body begins and inanimate objects end. Like it is insane. Yeah. I love to write about women who have their lives together because I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
I also really identified with Naomi in the people pleasing and the list making, but Naomi is way more organized at getting things done than I am. So a lot of times my characters are like aspirational for me.
I love that. But I love a quirky main character because it just shows how human they really are and how we're all hot messes at times. So
yeah, we're all varying degrees of hot mess.
Yeah.
It's just some of us are a little higher up on the scale.
So there was a few questions about this. If you had to pick one of the Knock 'Em Out boys, who would you pick?
To do what with?
Sorry. We'll go in marriage.
Oh, okay. Nash.
Nash.
I love Nash, and part of I put my anxiety into Nash. I've told this story before, but a couple years ago I started having panic attacks and I didn't know what they were, and it was really, really scary. And so to be able to explore that on the page through this tough guy hero whose job was to protect everyone in his life was so gratifying, and watching him fight his way through it, I absolutely adored. I mean, he never wavered from being the ultimate good guy, even when he was doubting himself. And I really love that about him.
Oh, he's a sweetie.
Oh my gosh. And he rescues Piper and he's like, I don't want a dog. And then he's like, here's all your dog toys and your dog sweaters. But I don't want a dog.
They're so cute. I love that you put in a couple dogs into this series because they just they complete the story too, just to have these little animals running around. The guy don't know what to do with them, or it's so cute. Oh my goodness. So there's just so much positivity in these comments just about you and you as a writer and you as a person. I just love it. They're all saying they love you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Series. Oh my goodness. Okay, like 2 more and then we'll wrap this up because we've been going a while.
You know, people like your mommy, and not just because they give you food. She's not impressed.
No. How long does it typically take you to write a book?
Right now, I would say between 4 and 5 months.
Okay.
It used to take me 2 months. 2 months was great. 2 months was amazing. And then things we never got over came along and kicked my butt. And that took me 6 months. So since then they've taken longer. But yeah, I'd say 4 to 5 months.
I gotcha. I feel like that's a good time period though, because it's.
I mean, I think it works for me. It prevents me from ever considering the idea of rapid release.
Yeah.
Because it's physically impossible for me. Kitty,
yeah.
Move your butt. You're in my bag.
Well, I do have one more question. So if you're fans of Lucy Score and you loved the Knock 'Em Out series, what is the next Lucy Score book we should read?
Well, definitely Riley Thorne, since
Riley Thorne
out next. Yeah. Since number 4, Kitty, don't show them your butt.
The tail.
Be a lady. Since Riley Thorne 4 is my next book that's coming out, I would say hit up Riley Thorne and the Dead Guy Next Door. If that's not your jam, because it is like super hilarious, slapsticky. I would say, why don't you pick up Mr. Fixer-Upper and then the Christmas Fix, because the Christmas books are coming. But Mr. Fixer-Upper is a great book about home renovation, and there's we always do hashtag that shower scene for Mr. Fixer-Upper. The entire book came from that one scene. I sat down and wrote that one scene. The characters didn't have names or anything, and I sat on it for like months, and then all of a sudden there was a book around it.
I love that. Oh, it goes back to the whole just being able to visualize and put it into words. Oh, you're so amazing at it. I don't have the words.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes I don't either.
But you make it happen. So, oh my goodness. Well, this has been absolutely amazing. It's been a blast. I've loved chatting with you this evening.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for having special guest Cleo Score, everyone. The real star of the show.
Oh, Cleo. Claps, Cleo.
But thanks for having me. This was so much fun. I love talking about books with you guys, and I love BAM.
Aw.
I was trying to find I couldn't find my sign. I have a sign that says Lucy Loves BAM, but I couldn't find it in time to put it up.
Have I told you the story about that? Because when I figured out that you did that, I about like died. I started screaming in the office. Everybody was like, "Are you?" I was like, "No, like, made a song."
For everyone who hasn't been in a Books a Million, thanks to Madison, has displays that say "I love Lucy," and so on one side it's all of my books, and on the other side it's like, if you love Lucy, it's other authors' books that you will like too. And so like a year ago, okay, probably not a year ago, a lot of time has passed. A year and a half ago, I walked into a Barnes and Noble and I saw the Colleen Hoover table, and I was like, I want my own display. And at the time, I was barely on shelves at all, so that was really a big ask at the time. And here we are with displays and tables, and it's all because of you guys, and I'm so grateful.
Readers. Oh, yes. Well, we are huge fans of you, and everybody on here is huge fans of you. It's just your books are amazing. You're an amazing person and an amazing writer. So
Thank you.
very easy to see why your popularity is skyrocketed and why you have your own tables and grids.
So crazy. It's so crazy. I can't wait to see what next year brings.
Oh goodness. How are you going to top this year?
I'm gonna aim for movies and TV, I think.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd like to see some projects on the screen.
yes. Knock
Ooh,
them
a
out.
clothing line. Crystal, yes, I like that. I want a clothing line too.
For the clothes. I love it. Well, to anyone on here who hasn't read Lucy, you absolutely should read Lucy. You should totally pick up your copy from Books A Million. I believe we have a coupon right now, 20% off. And you can, if you go to our website, you can see it. It's bright pink. And you can get the coupon code there. But
use that coupon, guys, because then Books A Million will like me even more.
yeah.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna order myself some books.
You a member?
I am a member. Of course I'm a member.
I love to hear it. Well, this has been absolutely amazing once again, and thank you so much for hopping on here. Do you have anything else for everybody on?
Thank you, guys. I'm so grateful to you. Like, I know 100% that none of this would be possible without you. I could write all the books I want, but without you reading them and loving them and telling everyone in your lives to read them, like, I wouldn't be here. And I'm so, so deeply appreciative of that. It means the world to me. And I just think romance readers are the best people in the world.
I would 100% agree. Oh, well, thank you for hopping on here. It's been a pleasure, and I hope I get to see you again sometime soon.
Absolutely. I'll be around. You can come visit me. We'll hang out in Harrisburg.
That's
Tell Richard, we need to make this happen.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, I hope you have a fantastic night.
Thank you. You too. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Thanks, everyone.
Sam.
We love you. Bye.